Hello, 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 and welcome to People Talk Now. I'm your host, Vanessa Herrera, and this is the show where you ask about it and I talk about it. And let's not forget, you guys, that we are constantly, it seems, trying to change the pace out there and what people are calling better days. So, yes, good morning. Happy fucking Wednesday if I haven't said it already. And thank you for being here this morning. So, before I go over everything that is going on this morning, everything that is happening on this beautiful, beautiful day, I just want to say thank you. Today is basically the 1 year anniversary of People Talk Now. So this is big. This is the 55th, whatever you want to say, episode. And so it's a pretty big deal to me because, a year ago I didn't think that I was going to still be here in front of the camera doing these episodes and just having as much fun as I am. So it means a lot to me that you guys, my viewers, are here watching the show with me and just kind of growing with me and like just seeing the growth. Like it's really cool, and it means a lot. Like I don't know what else to say without it sounding so cliche. But yeah, so I just want to say that I don't know where you're at this morning and I don't know what you're up to, but I hope that whatever it is that you're doing it with, a really open mind, and that you realize how great it is for you to be here this morning, alive, and for that opportunity to accomplish whatever it is that you didn't do yesterday. So yeah, on that note, I just wanted to talk about on today's show, on today's 55th episode 55. Let's pop that around here somewhere. I just want to talk about, important things like tips that you can do to pretty much free yourself, right? On how to let go. And it's a topic that I constantly get asked as a friend, as a family. I constantly get asked, Vanessa, how do you let go of things? And so I'm going to share some tips on how you can do that, but I'm also going to share some tips on how you can basically begin to develop a self-care plan so that you can basically get yourself in alignment. Because one of the things that I've learned in this whole journey of my self-care is that you cannot begin to help anybody, anything. And it's something that I constantly tell people, like whenever anybody's like, well, people that know me, if you're new to this channel, hi, my name's Vanessa Herrera, and I'm the host of People Talk Now. But if you're not, I just want to say that I constantly get asked, like, Vanessa, how do you expect to change people from like being meat eaters to not being meat eaters to like eating vegetables and plants, which is something that we've already been doing all of our lives anyway, right? We've always been eating vegetables. We just somehow strayed to thinking that if we didn't have them, that we somehow were going to drop dead. Anyways, so one of the things that I like to say, and I'm like, there's some vegan people out there, you know who you are. This is not a shot at you, but it kind of is a shot at you. So one thing I do not like, is that when certain people will say, especially vegan people will say, well, like it's about the animals, it's all about the animals and we need to save them. And I agree. We do need to save them. We most certainly need to save them. But we cannot begin to help those animals if we do not help the humans first. And what do I mean by that? Well, it all goes into letting go and freeing yourself. Because if we help someone help themselves, then they're going to be more disciplined, more open to ideas, because they're going to be feeling good about themselves. They're not going to be weighed by this burden. They're not going to be weighed by depression and stress and all these things that come with everyday life, and no one's saying like that it's going to be a cure, like you're just suddenly going to cure yourself, but it is an easier way going around life, not holding on to shit from the past. It just is. And I've come a long way. There is shit that I used to hold on to since I was young. Things that we've all gone through our own personal traumas And I'm not sitting here trying to cry you a river right now. Okay, I'm not. But I'm telling you the reality. The reality is that if you begin to take these steps, the ones I'm about to help you, like these tips that I'm about to share with you, it will be easier for you to start beginning to at least peel those. What the heck was that? I feel like something just fell on me. You will begin to peel those layers of the trauma of the past. So one of the things that I wanted to say is, number one is understand that the relationships you thought you've had are going to be different than the ones you actually have. So it's kind of like having this already like this what is the word I'm looking for here? You already have this preconception of how things are going to go instead of just letting things be free, right? And that's kind of one of the things, like you can't expect whoever the person you're with now, say you're in a relationship with someone, or say you're in a friendship with someone, and you are already having this notion that because someone is not who you want them to be, that's already that's already putting some kind of strain on you. That's already making you upset. That's already making you jealous. It's already making you these things because you're comparing this person from someone in your past, and you're not allowing yourself to move on, and you're not allowing them to move on. Like, you're just holding on. We must accept the person we are in this very moment, like, and say, look, this is who I am. Like, this is just what it is. And the way that other people are too, not just about you, because you can begin to accept other people for who they are. You know, just like when you say, oh, let people be who they are. And that's all great and dandy. If you want to throw that out there, that's fine. But if you don't actually mean that, if it doesn't actually resonate inside of you, and it doesn't have no true value, it really doesn't. They're just words. So as time goes on, we continue to learn that things don't always go as we actually plan, right? Come on, give me a fist pump, because you know I'm right about that one. Because we have all these plans, we have all these ideas as to how things are gonna go, but they don't go that way. They just don't. They never do. Anyways, they pretty much never do. And that's okay. But if you become aware of yourself and you're part of your relationships, they will improve, because it all starts with you becoming aware of your wrongdoings, of what you're doing wrong, because you can't go shitting on other people and say, well, they're doing this, or I don't like the way they do this, when you haven't looked deep down inside yourself first. However, you may also have to accept the fact about certain people in your life, practice gratitude, appreciation, and trust in the process. Like, really, really trust in it. Number 2, don't be invested in the outcome when it comes to dealing with people, because it often leads to disappointment. So stop thinking of the end. And I know you guys are constantly always hearing me say, like, stop thinking about tomorrow because it doesn't exist. But it's true. It has really helped my life. Really just saying, okay, why be down and out about some shit that happened yesterday? It doesn't exist anymore. It's already in the past. Like, leave it back there. Like, it literally doesn't exist. There will nothing you could do to change the day that doesn't exist anymore. You're in today, Wednesday morning, when people talk now. And tomorrow, it doesn't exist either, because it hasn't even happened. So, like, when you start literally letting that sink in and think about the fact that, like, holy shit, it's not, like, none of those, like, that doesn't exist, this doesn't exist, this exists right now. God, that hit good. Didn't that just hit so good? So expectations have a way of just keeping us stuck back, and they lead us to fear certain outcomes, right? Because we're just like, oh, like, you have this expectation, like, I want it to be like this, I want it to be like this, I want it to be like this, right? But it doesn't happen that way. And then what happens? You start getting these feelings that start rising inside of you, whether it's disappointment, whether it's anger, whether it's frustration. And those things are not self-care. Those things will not allow you to let things go, because you can't move on, because you're so stuck in that moment that you can't control, and you can't even control yourself, right? Other times it means just letting go and trying your best to just let it go. And I don't mean, there's a couple letting go. There's a couple of ways of letting go. And I know, because I've tried every possible outlet that I could have tried growing up to let things go. There's the, I'm over it. you know that one. I'm over it. It's fine. Whatever. It's not. It's not fine. That's just you trying to protect, trying to guard your feelings, trying to not deal with emotions. And so you're just like, yeah, it's fine. It's great. Sure. But it's not. So you're not really dealing with it. You're not actually taking care of the fact that you need to let that go. You're not really doing that. You're just brushing it off. That's what that is. But you're not smoothly peeling it off. You're not smoothly letting it go. And that's it's important. If you really care about yourself, if you really care about gaining your power back as a person, like literally gaining your power back, because people will control you if you can't learn to control yourself, to handle your feelings. Like, and that's something that you need to get in tight of really quick. So, number 3, don't live in chains. Please, people watching me. Don't live in chains when you are the person that has the key to fucking break those chains. And I hope you felt those words right now. Because a lot of times, growing up, I lived in those chains. But see, I wasn't aware, and I thought someone had those chains on me, and I kept making excuses as to why I couldn't, why this, and oh, why me, and like I can't possibly, or oh no, because of it was a because or a but or a oh why, and it was never a just I accept. And so we live with self-limiting beliefs, and then we allow those beliefs to define who we are as people, which is fucking bullshit if you ask me. Because one of the reasons why I'm telling you this is because I used to allow those beliefs of how other people saw me to define who I was. And then you walk around not being happy because that's not who you are. You're just like, oh, well, this is what people believe of me. No, what do you believe about you? That's important right there. So we think I could never do that, or I could never make that happen, or, and if you truly believe that you can't make things happen, then you won't. And, me creating a podcast over a year ago was just like, it was just this idea. It was this thing that I really wanted to do. And I knew that it was going to take work. I knew that I was going to have to be filming, every week. I knew that I was going to have to be getting interviews, getting content. I knew that I was going to have to be editing. I knew that I was going to have to be like posting and all these things. I knew that. But see, initially there's always this fear. There's always this like, oh God, like what if I don't this? But you'll never know, because that's not living in the moment. That's living in the future, which does not exist. It's a thought that we try to create, but it don't exist. It really doesn't. And you're literally creating this pending doom on yourself by thinking about something that literally doesn't exist. You know how crazy that is? You know how barbaric that sounds? Like, oh yeah, let me just kill myself and destroy myself internally by stressing and not letting go of something that doesn't even exist, or already, literally, even if it's in the past, it doesn't exist. It's gone. It's you can't do anything about it. You can't go back in time. At least not yet, anyways. So yeah, just open up your mind and believe in yourself. And I know it's easier said than done, but just like anything else, just like you go to the gym and you build muscles, well, guess what? Letting go of things and working on yourself, self-care, that's building a muscle within your mind, within your body, because you're building this discipline of internal happiness that you're going to love. The more and more you feel it, the more and more you're going to want it. And so you're going to do whatever it takes. You're going to build the discipline. You're going to know little things are going to make your life easier day by day. So you're going to go and try to get those things done. Number 4, let go of the idea that you can control others' actions, what other people do. Let go of that idea. Stop trying to freaking puppeteer people's feelings, people's emotions, what their reactions are going to be, because it's so fucking tiring. Don't do that to yourself. We really only have control over ourselves and how we act as people. We do not. You were not born and then strings are attached to another fucking newborn. Like, that's not how that happened. Like, No, you do not have that kind of power. I hate to be the one to pop your bubble today, but no. Okay, you can't change another person. You can't do that. Stop trying to do that. You live a happier life individually as a person, as a human being, when you say, you know what, I'm me. Let that person be who they are. And guess what? If something about them makes you upset, you got to look within yourself first and say, why is this upsetting me? Why is this pissing me off? And then if you find out, like, you know what, well, oh, I think it's because of me, and you're like reflecting on your own self. And if you find out at the end of the day that you and that person just don't click, this looks awkward. If you guys don't click, then you know what? Move on. Let go. You know how many fucking people are on this earth? We are overpopulated. Okay, I just want to say that. Move on and find someone who resonates with you, who flows with you, okay? Don't put yourself through that burden. You have the control, okay? You don't need to be dealing with stuff like that. You weren't born to be like, well, you need to deal with this and put up with this because. No. There is no because you have to. No, there's not. So don't waste your time and your energy trying to change someone. I think this is the biggest factor that pushes people to hold on to unhelpful behaviors. Like the need to please someone. We think if I only do everything for everyone, they'll never get mad at me. Wrong. That's absolutely wrong. Okay? Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to other people. You want to be a good person, start by being good to yourself, by making good choices for you. Number 5, only worry about, are you ready for this? What you think of yourself. Okay? Free yourself from being controlled by what other people think. Easier said than done, right? It's not that easy for some people. Start to prioritize how you feel about yourself. Like Gandhi said, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. So you can't live by your values if you're living by the approval of others, right? That's the truth. So if you want to begin to change that, then you have to start valuing yourself, respecting yourself, and fixing yourself before you begin to try to basically fix other people. You got to really let that shit go. Number 6, leave room for mistakes. So, did you make a mistake or say something stupid? It's okay. It's okay. Use that experience to kind of learn and make a joke about it, which is something that I often do. Like I fuck up, I say something that just didn't sound at all fucking wrong, and I'm just like, let's try to make a joke about it. Let's try to be funny, But you do learn, because sometimes you'll reflect back on that moment. Maybe you don't, and you're just like, damn, like, why did I even do that? Like, was that even necessary? And you'll learn a lot of the times that you said things out of either just impulse or you said things out of emotion. And so it doesn't make you stupid to say something wrong or silly. It doesn't, but it makes you human and sometimes even funny. So, yeah. Number 7, accept the things that you cannot change. So stop wishing things could be the way they once were, which is something that I used to do a lot. I used to be like, oh, if things were only like this, I remember this time. Because, you try to think back to when things were so good and things were maybe like a certain way, and because you want to reflect back on that happiness. But see, that's the thing. Things will never be exactly as they once were, because every day things are changing. But what you can do is fix the level of happiness, because you can go from a person that, has happiness within them a majority of the time. Okay, no one's saying that you're going to be happy 24/7 with a big old smile. Maybe, I don't know, if you work towards it. But I'm saying that you can work and strive towards having that, creating that feeling within yourself more often. And even when maybe something upsets you, you know how to bounce yourself back to that feeling. The feeling of happiness, the feeling of enjoyment. And you'll learn to enjoy things more and more. You're going to build upon that. So, you can't change the past. You can only make decisions today to help you of how your future may turn out one day. That's what you can do. That's what you can control. actions you take today and what decisions you make today towards your self-care, towards letting go of things that have hurt you in the past. Number 8, don't take yourself too seriously. Okay, which is something that I really don't. I try not to take myself too seriously. I'm always joking. People that know me, my family, everybody knows I'm always joking. And it's something that I've, people have talked shit on a lot when I was growing up, and that's fine, but it's true. Like, I've always been a big child. I've always been kind of just like trying to live in the moment, trying to live free. And I think it's one of the things that really helped me not really hold on to too much stuff and just enjoy myself. So I would say, this kind of will allow you to relax a little bit more, not taking things too seriously, just being like, okay, don't think too much into something. If you find something hurtful, just, don't think too much into it, because, allow yourself to enjoy and relax during your life's journey, because this is your journey. This is your only journey in life, and choose how you want it to be, how it's going to make you happy, how it's going to excite you. Don't allow someone else to choose that for you. I laugh with myself and at myself all the time at some of the shit that I say, like, and I don't know, I just do. And I think you should try yourself, like, it's really rewarding. It's really helpful towards healing. And, our heart knows when we're laughing. Our heart knows when we're singing, when we're happy and we're genuinely feeling good. Our heart knows that, and it reflects that on the outside. But when we're holding on to things and we're not letting things go, it really affects our health. It really affects everything all around us. The people that we're close to, our family, our friends, your coworkers, it literally has an impact all around. Number 9, do what scares you. Fear holds us back from doing a lot of things because it closes our minds to possibilities for our future and locks us into this comfort zone. And, I've talked about ways in previous podcasts how to break out of comfort zone, so you can go check those videos out, and hopefully, that helps you. But I know it's not easy breaking out of comfort zones. Just recently I said that I was going to start waking up early, which I did, and I feel good about that. But it's not easy, because you're battling these demons that say, but we're comfortable, we like this, we don't want to move from here. But I guess you'll never really know how good you can be or what you can do unless you actually begin to love yourself and try for yourself. Because part of letting go, part of self-care is caring for yourself, giving yourself that room to grow. And we'll never grow if we're holding on to things that are hurting us, things that are causing us pain, things that are causing us depression and sadness. So it's very important. Also, most of the time, when we do have these fears tend to kind of start filling us with doubt and the what ifs. I hate that. The what if this, the what if that. Because I used to be a big what ifer. What ifer. So I'm just going to tell you right now. That sentence, those short little sentence, those 2 words, what if. Those words, try your best not to say them, because they tend to imprison you. They tend to hold you down, because when you say those words, they're like a bad spell on your brain. And when you say those words, it's just kind of like you're already like holding yourself back and you're not going forward. That's the best description I can have. Like, someone's grabbing you. It's not someone, it's actually just you, and your hands are tied and you're literally not going forward because of it. So the more you do to get out of your comfort zone, the more fear will subside. And in life, do what scares you and you'll grow and you'll succeed. I guarantee you, every time. But it starts with you saying, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it, and I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to look back, because this is something that I've been wanting to do. And if it takes work, and if it takes commitment, and if this is something that you really want to do, and it's going to help you, let go of things, it's going to help you move on, then you're going to do it. Number 10, express what works for you. So find your voice. I know it's so hard for some of us to find our voice. And share with others what you're thinking and feeling in a rational way. If you continue to communicate with others about what works for you and doesn't work for you, and you're just putting it out there, you're not going to be that type of person anymore who bottles up their feelings. Because it's very important to, from the start, whether you're in a work environment, whether it's a friendship, whether it's family, it's important that you voice what works for you and what doesn't work for you, what you're going to accept and what you're not, what is hurting you and what isn't, and just say your feelings and your emotions from the start to avoid any lingering of feelings bottled up or any anger, any animosity. It's just best that you tell people, this is how I feel, this is how it is. But you can say it in a rational way where you're not crushing people, because it should never be about you hurting someone just because you don't like the way they say something. There should be a way for us to talk as humans and just get things, our points across. Because if you can't listen to someone else's opinion about you when you're about to say something about them, then that's not really growth. You're just holding on to anger and resentment, and that's not healthy for you. Number 11, allow yourself to feel negative emotions. And what do I mean by that? Well, whether you lost a loved one through death or a breakup, honor your loss. And, trying to ignore your negative emotions will extend your suffering. And it's so true, because when I was growing up, sometimes I had a hard time dealing with saying how I felt. I would just hold it in, and then next thing you know, I would just have a massive blow up of emotions, just like explosions of emotions all over the floor, on the wall. It was bad. And loss is difficult to experience no matter what, whether it's a breakup, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member you lost something, if it had value to you. So it's okay to allow yourself to hurt and be sad. Don't think that it's not okay. Sometimes we go through these motions, and that's okay. But let yourself feel that and ask yourself, why am I feeling this? And confront it. And for the longest time, it was hard. It was really hard for me to ask myself those things, because you don't want to. You don't want to deal with that. You don't want to deal with the hurt you're going to feel. Maybe you don't want to confront those demons, as some people call them. You don't want to confront it, but it's actually the healthiest thing for you. I used to write things out on a paper, crumble it, burn it, whatever you need to do, get them out. Get them out, because they are causing you to be sick. They are causing you to feel hurt and pain, depression, anxiety, all these things, and you do not deserve to hold on to those things. Let yourself feel sad and go through the grief process so that you can move forward. Because once you move forward, once you start taking those first steps out of the darkness, trust me, it feels so, so good. And yeah, just life just starts to feel really good. Because in order for you to let go of other people, you have to forgive yourself. You have to understand that, you did the best that you could in whatever time that was. And you are in this time now, trying to get better. So, yeah. Number 12, very important. Learn forgiveness. Got a little dry. Hold on. It's not coffee in here, it's water. You hear the ice? Okay, so learn forgiveness. Resentment and unwillingness to forgive will keep you locked in the past and prevent you from moving forward with your life. That's so true. You have to learn how to forgive yourself, because part of letting go, it's because you feel this hurt, and some part of you somewhere thinks, well, this must be my fault. It must be because I did this. And a lot of times, some people, the reason they can't let go is because they hold on to things because they think somehow, some way, in shape or form, they're to be blamed. And that's not true. You are who you are now, and you are who you are right now. Remember, when you forgive, you aren't doing it for the other person, but you're doing it for yourself. And this is part of self-care. This is part of letting go. So if for no other reason than that, forgive and let go. Because, you know, I don't know if you guys know who Carl Jung is, but he said, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. And it's so true, because there's a lesson in that for all of us. Try to let go of whatever it is that's holding you back from experiencing yourself. You'll probably realize that you are not what other people say you are. And most of the time, we never are. We never are. When maybe you don't talk to someone because you think, and that's your perception of them. And most of the time you end up hurting yourself because you could have talked to a great person. You could have had a great friendship, or blah, 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 vice versa. And so, you know, you are not your pain. And that's what I want you to realize right now. That in order to let go, you have to realize that you as a person are not that pain that you're holding on to. You're not. You're so much more than that. And your past, you know, you're not your past. You're not those emotions anymore. Those things are the past. You are in this moment now. And if you want to let go of that, you have to say, I am not those things. I'm not. Write it out. Paint. Go for a drive. Do whatever it takes for you to let go of those things. Being able to, you know, it's the negative ideas about ourselves, basically, and our hurt self-talk that gets in the way of who we really want to be. Because most of the time, we are our own worst enemy, and we're the ones that will all this self-negative talk towards ourselves. And so in order for you to fix that, you have to confront yourself. Whether it's you looking at a mirror, whether it's you writing out who you are as a person, things that you're not willing to tell other people, you got to let it out and start to kind of put the pieces together there. So I would say being able to let go requires a strong sense of self. And in order for you to start beginning to get that, you have to start with self-care. So, you know, start with the self-care, which gives you that ability to learn and grow from your experiences. But it starts with caring about yourself, caring about you, because the fact that a single person would not be able to let go of something that happened long, long ago is because you don't have the ability in that sense of who you are yet. And that's okay. It doesn't always come like the fucking snap of a finger. It's not like that. God, gotta stop doing those fast moves like that. I'm in my 30s. Anyway, so yeah, so that's an idea. And you know, there's, again, if you're like, okay, well, how can I begin these self-care things, Vanessa? Like, how can I start working towards the self-care so that I can begin to let go of the past, so that I can get a stronger sense of who I am? Well, I always say there's 7 types of self-care, you know. So there's the sensory, right? There's pleasure. There's mental. I'm over here moving the fingers all wrong. There's spiritual, emotional, and physical, and social. So you have to kind of wrap around those things. But I'm going to give you 9 secrets. I don't know if they're secrets. To self-care, basically. So we tend to think that the self-care is a waste of time, right? You think about it, you're like, oh, it's just me like relaxing, painting my toenails, flossing my teeth. But the American way is that a successful person is one who is always accomplishing things. Okay? And if we were taught that sitting in the park and relaxing for 2 hours was praiseworthy, trust me, we would be proud of taking care of ourselves in that way. We would be like, yep, going to the park, go meditate for an hour, right? But however, our culture is working against us. And if we feel guilty for doing what we should be doing, which is taking care of ourselves, you know, we need to give ourselves that permission to do less. You know, we'll never have that peace in mind if we're not doing what it takes to if we're not doing what it takes to have that little downtime, you know? A lack of self-care causes you stress. People unfortunately feel unworthy of self-care, and many people are proud that they don't need self-care, and that's not something that I personally I don't want to be proud of that, you know. I wouldn't. To take care of ourselves is restorative, you know. People who take care of themselves are happier and have more stamina to get more things accomplished. And isn't that ultimately what we want? You know, we could get to that without feeling the stress and feeling the burden. So self-care could be the get off the phone with the person who brings you down. So this is important. So what is self-care? What is it anyway? What is self-care? An example of self-care would be to get off the phone with the person who brings you down. Okay. Another example of self-care can be exercising and eating healthy, but that's something I'm always trying to tell you guys. Another example of self-care is to stop beating yourself up for a mistake you made long ago. Okay. So here's an example of someone who didn't practice self-care and ended up hurting themselves in the long run. So I'm going to tell you a quick little story. Leah told a woman who missed the application window for her family's insurance and ended up having to spend an extra $800 for the year. That mistake was unfortunate, but the woman berated herself all year. The amount of time this woman took out from her year to berate herself was just not worth the amount of money that she lost. Take the loss and move on. So what do we get out of this small little story of Leah? The story is that she spent more time beating herself up about the mistake, that it was literally worth more than that. It was like she lost out on time, on happiness, her health, you know, because she was just couldn't let that go. She couldn't live and let go. She couldn't just take the loss and say, okay, you know, it was a mistake, you know, you live, you learn. But that's just it. She wasn't living. She didn't even learn from it. She just allowed it to consume her. So you are obligated to save yourself before saving others. And it's something that I, you know, constantly say. Like I say it towards veganism, I say it towards other people. I say, you know, in order for you to begin to help other people, you have to help yourself. In order for you to be happy with other people, you have to be happy with yourself. You know, all of these things. So take a mini break. Taking a mini break will basically remind you that you're worth it, and you can take control of all the crazy madness stuff that's going on in your life. So, you know, this will help you feel like more rejuvenated. This will help you feel more on top of your stuff, which is good. Like if that's something that you're, so this is something really important. If your job is to take care of everyone else, this is your time to take care of yourself so that you can start taking care of other people, because you're going to see the shift and you're going to get a better ability to take care of others once you start taking care of yourself. So limit your to-do list to 5 things. Limit it to 5 things. How many times do you hit the pillow with the satisfaction that you got everything done on your list? How many times does that happen to any of us? Hardly never, because your to-do list is so long and impossible to complete sometimes that demanding less of yourself will reduce your stress level, which is important, you know? I would say start off with one task. If you work on building one thing and getting that one thing strong, guess what? Everything else is going to go and it's going to fall into place. So, just because we can do more does not mean that we must, okay? Please don't go thinking that because you can, you should, unless you want to, which I know sounds really confusing, but maybe these opportunities are a test to see if you can put yourself first. Most of us don't know what a livable pace is. It's time to start learning how to do less. Yes. Strengthen your self-care muscle. Strengthen your self-care muscle when you first start this exercise. It may be hard for you to get back to work when its time is up. Do not give up so easily and try to make it a routine. Get out of the accomplishment mode every moment that you get. Try to Get your family on board, you know. You may need to explain that you need to take better care of yourself so you can take better care of them. The more support they provide you during their self-care journey, the easier it will be for you to actually incorporate it into your life. What else we got here? So, okay. If you are married, make your husband your priority. If you have a boyfriend, make your boyfriend your priority. If it's vice versa, you have a wife. If you have a girlfriend, someone that you're seeing, make them a priority. Prioritize better. Move things off your now list. Have a list of things to do eventually if there's time. Make your husband your priority. Make your boyfriend your priority, your girlfriend, your wife. If you put them first, you'll get blessings from everything above. Okay? Have a bulletproof plan for prioritizing yourself. We may need appreciation from our spouses for our accomplishments that we do sometimes, and we may need them to give us kudos. Stolen time is shouldn't come with frau or with guilt. What is stolen time? Let's say you're stressed out, so you pull out your phone and play Candy Crush. I don't know why I said Candy Crush, but half an hour later you feel guilty that you wasted time and you could have used things to get done, which happens to a lot of people, you know. Maybe it's not Candy Crush, maybe it's another game. I don't know what people play out there. Or maybe you're just texting, or maybe you're just on social media, which tends to be a big key with a lot of people. And you obviously afterwards you feel so unaccomplished, like you didn't do a lot. You feel like that's time that you wasted that you could have got things done. However, if you plan out what you will do to de-stress, then the next time you feel stressed, you can choose one of the items on your list and you won't feel guilty about it. So know which self-care works for you. Not every type of self-care routine is going to work for you like it is the way it's going to work for someone else. Examine which things worked in the past and which did not work. Self-care is critical, and you may need to hire a babysitter or go on nature, listen to music, get an adult coloring book, do a craft project, garden, have lunch with a friend, call someone you haven't spoken to in a long time, journal, exercise, do puzzles, set up a date night, enjoy an indoor water fountain. They're inexpensive, honestly. Or enjoy a new type of coffee or tea, cuddle with a dog, meditate, dance, take a 20-minute power nap, socialize and make a list of people you'll call. Only if it's a pleasure. If not a burden, if it's not a burden. Or you can join a group, some kind of support group, or read a novel. But those are things that, those are self-care tips that, you can begin to kind of get yourself on that on that journey to self-healing. Because I think a lot of the times, like something that my husband brought up at breakfast was that, say for example, you're gonna eat a salad, right? And this is self-care right here. So I thought it took me a second to get it because I think it was pretty early. So you're gonna eat a salad and you notice that there's no forks. They're all in the dirty dishes. And all there is spoons. Are you going to wash the forks, or are you gonna just settle for using a spoon? Using a spoon would be really difficult to eat a salad, unless it's a spork. But that's what I'm saying. Are you going to take the time to say, you know what? I need a fork to eat my fucking salad. Are you going to get up and wash the fork? Are you going to just settle for what's there because it's comfy? So, that's it, you guys. I hope that anything that I said here today really kind of resonated with you, and it kind of helps you or gets you on that path to just really start wanting to let those things go of the past, let go of those demons, let go of that burden, of that stress, of that pain that, it's just on your back, on your shoulders. There's so many things that you can do to begin letting go of the past and to just focus on you and the self-care that's going to make you a happier, much lighter, brighter person for the future you. So, yes, as always, you guys, I always like to, before I'm going to all that, I just wanted to say that if you have any questions about today's show and you want to ask me other personal questions as to how you can let things go, or you want to talk about things from your past that maybe you don't want to post on the comments below, you could comment below what is something that you're holding on to, and what are things that you could do aside of what was mentioned here today. And if you need more help, then feel free to email me at peopletalknow@hotmail.com and reach out to me and we'll have a chat. I'll email you back. Yeah, so don't be afraid to reach out to me. I'm available. So yes, as always, you guys know I like to leave every show with the word and a joke of the day, because I like you guys leaving my show with a new word and a new joke to make your day a little bit brighter and to learn a new word for your vocab. So today's joke of the day is, I asked the lion in my wardrobe what he was doing in there, because I got a big old wardrobe up in there, big old closet, and he said it was Narnia business. Has anybody ever seen Narnia? Because, I thought it was cool because I be saying none your business, but Narnia business. Okay, moving right along to the word of the day. So today's word of the day is
operose.
Operose. Operose is spelled O-P-E-R-O-S-E. And the meaning and definition of it is tedious and wearisome. Did you know operose comes from the Latin operius, which has the meaning of diligent, painstaking, or laborious. That word combines opera, meaning activity and effort or work, with osis, the Latin equivalent of the English ose and os suffixes meaning full of or abounding in. In the earliest uses in the mid-16th century, the word was used to describe people who are industrious or painstaking in their efforts. About a century later, the word was being applied, as it more commonly is today, as an adjective describing tasks, undertakings requiring much time and effort. So in order for you to let go of the past, it's definitely going to be operose over time. I don't know. Okay, so yes, there you go. That's the word of the day. Operose. Go out and use it in a sentence. Hashtag People Talk Now. Let me know how you use it in a sentence, and tag me on Instagram, People Talk Now, and yeah, I'll share you in my stories. Or actually too, let me know if you do use it. Put it in your stories, and I'll give you a notification shout out on my next video. Comment it down below. Whatever. Comment down below. Comment if you want a notification shout out, and I will only choose one person for every video, but comment it down below if you want a shout out, and I'll go ahead and share it in my next video. So comment down below. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, it has been a real pleasure. I want to thank everyone who has watched every episode thus far. We made it, you guys, 1 year as a family together. Let's give each other a hug. Thank you so much. It's been so fun the whole year, just here sharing ways to help us all grow together as a family. So yes, you guys. Also, if you really like this video or anything that I said here today helped you out, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to share it and to subscribe and tell everyone about People Talk Now. Blow it up, spread the word, and yeah. And as always, you guys, have a kick-ass Wednesday. Bye.